fingerstyle guitar, you're probably a little banjo curious. And look at this thing, look at those carvings. So today, I want to show you how to take some of your familiar patterns that maybe have grown a little stale on fingerstyle guitar and how to transform them into something really refreshing on the five string banjo. Don't be too scared. Don't be scared now. Not scared. What's up? My name is Kyle Orlow. Welcome back to the studio where we check out old folk music from the past to create the widest lane possible for future folks to come, mainly on guitar. But today is banjo day. All right, yeah, it's banjo day. I don't know. I wanted to try this. I play guitar. I love guitar, but I love the banjo, and you'd be surprised how similar these two things are. And if you've been up against a wall before and you're like, no, they're not that similar. I've tried this. I've got some ideas. Now this is a 5-string banjo, just to be clear. It's got this extra little tuner. And if you don't own a banjo, dude, they're so cheap. Sometimes you get them for free. This one was actually free. I've gotten more free banjos in my life than I care to share. Yeah, I'll talk about why too. Why you find so many free banjos. But unlike guitar, a cheap banjo, it's a good banjo. You know, it's gonna be fine. So hopefully after this video you'll be inspired, if you don't play banjo already, to go out and find one for cheap. Honestly, if you make a little post on your social media, hey, I want to play banjo, I bet you, if you're a guitar player and you have like a community, you're gonna find yourself a banjo. So whether you have like a junker banjo or you've been playing banjo for quite a while, I want to show you how to adapt a tune like Freight Train that's meant for the fingerstyle guitar and put it on the 5-string banjo. But first, I want to give you a little context because that's what we do here. If you want to skip ahead, you're welcome to. Just get to the lesson, skip ahead. But this can be quite mysterious, and it would be my honor to walk through a little bit of how to unravel the mystery with you. We should do like a game of Clue for the banjo and all the instruments, guitar, fiddle. That's all I got. I don't know how it would work, but I think there's something there. Maybe. All right, so learning a new instrument can be kind of daunting. New tuning, new shape. They kind of smell different. The old ones smell so good. So I happen to play like a lot of instruments. It's my own little personal problem. And to scratch out a living, I've started to teach all these instruments, and it can be a little bit mind-boggling, honestly. But I've come up with this clever 3T system that'll work for learning any new instrument, and I'll walk you through how it works specifically on the 5-string banjo. All right, so the 3 T's, we've got tunings, we've got techniques, and we've got tunes. And it's really important to learn them in that order. I mean, day one, whatever, just get in the sandbox, have fun. But as you try to progress, I've found that order is the most efficient way to make your way through a new instrument. So on the banjo tunings, oh my God, there are so many banjo tunings, it's ridiculous. You pretty much retune your banjo for every key. And then you can capo in those keys, of course. There are hundreds of variations. The one we're going to start with, the one I think is the easiest to start with, especially if you play guitar, is called G tuning. It's also called standard. And it sounds like this. It's nice. It's actually the same tuning, more or less, as Spanish tuning or open G on guitar. So if you know that tuning, you're pretty much going to figure this out pretty quick as far as like the left-hand stuff. It's not so dissimilar either from standard. So you've got a G here, you've got a D here, you've got a G here, you've got a B here, and you've got a D here. So if you think about standard tuning, you have D, G, and B, and then instead of E, you've got a D. So it's slightly altered. I wouldn't think about it that way. Don't think about it like standard, but altering everything on the E string back a whole step. This is too much to think about. And the second T, techniques. The techniques on the 5-string banjo, very different. There's 3 main ones. The first one we'll talk about is kind of the most recent banjo technique as far as like traditional banjo goes, and that's called Scruggs style. It's also called 3-finger. Developed and made famous by Earl Scruggs, it's an insanely efficient technique, mainly used in bluegrass, but it's been adapted by all kinds of artists in cross genres. I mean, obviously Bela Fleck. Now, a lot of fingerstyle guitar players pick this one because it seems the same. Same 3 fingers as fingerstyle guitar. The patterns, everything about it couldn't be more different. We're not gonna check out that technique today. I don't do it. I don't know how to do it. I wish I did, but some things you gotta leave for somebody else. The second one is a technique that I employ, and it's called claw hammer. It's probably the oldest technique. Its roots go way back to Africa, which if you didn't know, this is an African instrument. You should know that. If you don't, I mean, no shade if you don't. You don't know what you don't know, but you should know that African instrument. But yeah, it's called claw hammer. It's also called Fraulini. It's perfect for learning how to play old fiddle tunes, hard driving, string band, square dance stuff. We won't be using that technique today either. I love it, but it's a whole thing. We'd have to do a whole series. If you want to learn how to do that, let me know. We're gonna check out 2-finger. Now, 2-finger, it's in the 3 most popular techniques, but it's probably the least popular of the 3. It was primarily used for like mountain ballad singers. Folks also used it for dance bands of the day as well. But it's actually almost exactly the same as the 2-finger technique for like country blues and stuff like that. Most country blues players were playing with 2 fingers, and the technique can be exactly the same. You can use it in exactly the same way. Lastly, the last T is tunes. Learn some tunes. Now, once you get your feet wet and you've had fun just exploring the instrument, I highly recommend you learn a few tunes that are meant for the 5-string banjo, or at least inspired by that tradition. All these banjo players, they've done all the heavy lifting for you. The idea here is this, you learn a little bit what's possible on the banjo, which will spur creativity and allow you to do things that have yet been done before. That's how I think about everything. That's how I think. It's not like you need to be a copycat. It's just that, again, these players, they've done the work. Learn from them first. With all that out of the way, let's learn freight train. So the chords of freight train, you got C, G, F, and E. Those are the chords we use in freight train, E major. We're gonna go around the circle, and we're gonna play in the key of G, because we're in G standard here. And we're gonna use the chords G, C, D, and B. The beauty of banjo is, those chords on guitar might take you 6 months. You're gonna be able to do this in 1 day. You got G, C, 1 finger. D is a fun one because you can actually ring out your open D string. You have this little partial chord. We're gonna make use of that today. As far as the melody goes, you could do it all on 1 string. We're gonna do it on 2. You could do it all on 1 though. We've got 12th fret. We've got 9th fret, 7th, 5th. Now we're gonna go here. That's the 7th fret on the B string, 2nd string. Back up to 12, and then down to 10. It continues. 12, 10, 9, 7, and we're actually going to use the open G string. You'll see why. It's the same. You could use either way. Just it makes it easier. You'll see. And then we've got 12 to 9. We hang on 9 for a while, and then we go 5, 7, 5. We might use an open string instead. Again, it's the same note. This is kind of the unraveling the mystery part of the banjo. And then back up to, 9, 5, 7, 5. Now, we could do just that, and it would probably sound fantastic. I actually haven't even tried it yet, but let's just see how it does. No chords, just melody. What's wrong with that? That was great. It's gonna sound even better with the chords. All right, so for the last bit here, I'm gonna put this all together for you. I'm gonna do some kind of cool banjo things. I'm not gonna fully explain the reasons for doing this. Just know that it sounds really cool. That's why you learn tunes, right? You don't learn a tune because somebody said, hey, this is a great tune. Here's why. You just learn it because it sounds great. And that's kind of my concept for this. I'm just gonna play it for you like a banjo player might do it. but it'll come to you pretty naturally if you already have a right hand if you've already done your work on the right hand on fingerstyle guitar. So we're gonna go through this chunk by chunk, and if you want a slow play along, that's of course over on the Patreon. The first chunk here is this G chord. So we're gonna do the melody note, and we're actually gonna just thicken that up with the fifth string. Why not? And then we just alternate the open second and third string between the melody notes. It just gives it some rhythm. Then we're gonna move to the 7th fret on the 2nd string there and play our partial D chord. And that'll sound like this. Again, we're just thickening up that 12th fret with the open G string, just to make it sound a little more full. It's not even actually the right chord note, but it sounds fine, right? This string, it can kind of float around and be in chords it doesn't belong. That's why they call it a drone string. And we'll do the same idea of doubling up the 12th fret with the 5th string here. And this is where, instead of going back to the 5th fret, we're gonna just open up, because we gotta jump all the way to the 12th fret. So that just makes things way easier instead of having to like slide. I mean, that could be nice too, but we're gonna keep things easy so we can play it faster. So that next line is this. Bringing us to B. Now, the tab, we're gonna use B into this F shape. That's for those of you who are ready. You could literally spend these next 2 measures just doing an alternating thumb pattern. And if you're there, if that's the level you're at, that's gonna sound great. I would avoid, in this instance, depending on what kind of vibe you wanna give, avoiding the G string on B. It doesn't sound bad in certain contexts, like Bela Fleck maybe. For the sake of this song, we're just gonna leave it out. So if you're ready, this pattern could sound like this. You gotta lift that pinky up now to play your stock, guitar F chord, although now it's an F7. Just because, again, that E string is down to D. I wouldn't overthink it, but that's why. So if you did just do B with one finger, it'll be a really easy switch to C. And I really love that 5th string, what it does to C. We make a really nice little melodic thing would be really hard to do on guitar, actually. So now we're starting to sound more like a banjo player, right? So now the melody jumps up to the 9th fret, and we're gonna double that up with the open G. In this case, it is in the chord, and it makes a beautiful sound. These next 2 measures will go like this. And again, that 5th string making a really tasty melodic thing, and then that'll bring us to the open 1st string with the 5th string. That is gonna double up that melody, when you hit the 5th string open, you're gonna hit it again on beat 1. That might feel a little clumsy. It might even seem weird. As you speed this up, it'll sound nice. And then for a turnaround, it's very simple. And then it will just rinse and repeat from there. All right, so that's it, dude. Let me know if that was fun for you. I've never done a banjo lesson here on YouTube, and I've always wanted to. Playing the banjo is one of the most freeing experiences for me to play. I love playing the banjo, so it's really fun to work this up for you. Again, you can get the tap and slow play along over on the Patreon. I did just drop at the end of this video, it's not dropped until right now, a video of me playing a couple of really cool obscure banjo tunes. Honestly, kind of the opposite idea of Freight Train. These are tunes that are very esoteric on a very weird banjo. Actually, I'll show you the banjo. Oh yeah, this thing's crazy. Also free. Well, I traded a mandolin banjo for it, but it has a Volvo muffler holding it together. It has friction pegs. It's fretless, gut strings. Little out of tune, but man, I love this thing. So check out this video here of me playing a couple old banjo tunes, and we'll see you there.